1. Okay.
3, 2, 1. Hey, it is 7:03 on Thursday, February 29th, leap year 2024. For those of you that don't believe in leap year, it's March. No, it's yeah. For those of you that
That
don't
it
believe in leap year, it's February 30th. Tomorrow is February 31st, or I don't know where the 31st comes in. But for those of you that have seen the 2-day no coffee challenge, is supposed to commence at 12 a.m. on February 30th and go through February 31st. Now, I don't know what will happen with February 31st because, as far as I'm concerned, February will end on the 29th. So there won't be a 30th or a 31st of February this year because there was a leap year. So I don't know. But anyway, we're here. We're going to have a whole lot of fun. Jen's going to talk about the World Economic Forum with Klaus the Clown. And we'll have some open discussions like we normally do. We're live on the Dave Goldman profile for those of you on Facebook. And for those of you not on Facebook, we're live on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. You are more than welcome to jump into the live chats on either one of the two places, or both if you're so inclined, and be part of the fun. Give me half a second here. Okay. All right. The live chat on the Dave Goldman profile is now open. Well, it was. Hold on. It opened and then it closed. It's open now on the Dave Goldman profile. So come join us there and we'll have a whole lot of fun. And immediately following Jen's Klaus the Clown review will be open discussions. I do want to welcome Karen Hackley, our buddy from Texas, who has been watching Boogie with the Bulls for a long time and keeps us up to date on what's going on in Texas. So Karen, we will hit up you later during open discussions to see if we can get a report from you. Also, William Grant is watching, my buddy who watches us all the time. And even if he doesn't know, even if there's no promotion letting anybody know that we're coming on, he still manages to come on and watch. He's almost watched as many Boogie with the Bull broadcasts as Danny Campbell. He is
awesome.
So he's getting very close. And so what we're going to do, no further ado, we're going to turn it over to Jen, the homeschooling mom. I'm going to turn off my mic and wait until the end and raise my hand and we'll get back together. Oh, I forgot.
Oh, stop. You're funny, Dave. Hi. Okay. Hello, everybody. I saw this piece of news last week and it floored me. And I told Dave about it. And so he said, oh, we got to do a show on that. Okay. It was a statement by the World Economic Forum. Okay. Those are the old guys in Davos. Is it Davos, Switzerland? It's way over there. It's the one
Davos.
that
I believe it's pronounced Davos only because they're elite. But yes, it is in Switzerland. But anyway, carry on. I'm going to turn my mic off.
Okay, that is the place in Switzerland that all of the elites go to in their private jets and blow carbon across the whole ocean to talk about how they're going to tell us little peons that we have to reduce our carbon emissions and how we're destroying the earth. Anyhow, what their last statement was that the next crisis is going to be a water crisis. And I thought, how do these guys get to determine what the next world crisis is? Well, it says right on their page. I sent a longer form of it to Dave, but what I saw is that the World Economic Forum brings together governments, businesses, and companies to improve the state of the world. And they actually do finance some of these things and big companies. And I didn't look it up, but I wonder now, did they help fund the restoration of 9/11, or did they pay for the planes to take down I don't know, but to me it looks like they are trying to level the playing field. They want us all to be third world countries so we can be the serfs and they can be the overlords that we pay all the taxes to. That's how it feels. I'm just saying. But anyhow, they are acting like what was that? Austin Powers, I don't know, some crazy show by Mike Myers when they're like, okay, send out the murder hornets. And they're always sending out the next thing that's going to terrorize the people because he's going to make, I don't, do you know what show that was, Dave? Was that Austin Powers? Where he's like this bad guy. And
No, oh, well, he played all of the. I gotta move my
characters.
move the speaker so I'm not talking too loud. But he played most of the characters in the movie. He played Dr. Evil. Dr. Evil was the one
Okay.
that held the little chihuahua in his hand that had the German speaking lady that always he'd say, turn on the death ray, and she would yell with a German accent, turn on the death ray, in the movies.
That's
But
what
yeah,
these people remind me of. If it's not this, then it also reminds me of that Hunger Games. Like it's just horrible. They're just putting all these terrible things on these people, and they say ahead of time what's going to happen, and we're just supposed to like brace for it and don't die.
he
I don't
he
know.
has always reminded me of a clown. And every time I see
Klaus,
him or think of him, yes, I think of a clown. And if you
right?
watched, I think it was America's Got Talent, there was a clown that came very close to winning. Puddles, no,
I think that is it. I think you're
yeah,
right.
Puddles Pity Party. And every
You're right.
time, unfortunately, every time I see a picture of Klaus, I think of
Puddles.
Puddles with Klaus's face.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, no,
But
he's still
anyway,
kicking. The one we just lost, and I asked her, I go, was that a month ago? It was Rothschild. He died yesterday. It was crazy. And so I remember I saw a post from one of my friends that said, um, I forget his first name, Charles, I don't know, Rothschild died. And then it said Rotten Hell. And I was like, maybe it's not ours to choose. I just thought, oh my gosh, they're all still kicking. But anyhow, I wanted to talk about this water problem that we're supposed to have. Anyways, I had a couple scenarios, and I thought, well, they kind of started this early, and that would be with the train derailment over in East Palestine, because that water is okay. First of all, is kind of owned by parts of it are owned by Nestle. Nestle is the largest bottled water producer in the world. Okay, they pump 400 gallons of you. I know we don't like it either. They pump 400 gallons of water per minute out of Lake Michigan for free, and then they push it through these aqua purifiers in right off the Ohio River. And it's crazy because this Ohio River, it right on this Ohio River is a chemical plant that makes plastics, probably the plastics to bottle the water. Well, then crisscrossing that, there's another chemical plant. I mean, they're all in Ohio and Pennsylvania, right over there, that corner. It couldn't have derailed at a better place. It is like right at the hub of toxins. And so it's very suspicious. And what's really suspicious is when Pete Buttigieg went down there and to test everything. Did he go, or he had to have gone? Yeah, he went late because he had to nurse his new baby. And so that was weird enough. But when he did go there, what he did, cringe, what he did
I,
was
I,
the
I'm
most.
I'm sorry, but I have to interrupt you. Real men do not nurse babies. Now I'm going to turn my mic off. They may give their son or daughter a bottle, but they do not nurse babies. And now, in the
Right.
grand tradition of people who aren't on tonight, I'm going to turn my mic off and let the dogs in Studio B not hear me. So go ahead.
That's okay. Anyhow, but what he did do that really frustrated me, it did not give anybody in East Palestine any kind of peace. What he did do is he said everything's okay, and he deregularized the limits, the legal limits. He said, "Oh, it doesn't have to. Toxins don't go that high. No, we're going to lower that." So he lowered everything. These poor people, they cannot breathe the air. They cannot plant food in the ground, and they certainly can't drink the water, which I wanted to tell you, Dave. Thank you so much for letting me be on that show right after that happened. You had Soup Mama on here, the Soup Mama. That was so cool. And she organized so much help for that area. It was just ridiculous. So I'm thinking, how are they going to create another water crisis? Are we going to see more train derailments? Especially in that area, it's getting stupid. And then the worst part about all of these is that the toxins that go in the water, it's okay. They got, as long as they say it's okay and it's not at a certain level anymore, you're okay. And we trust them. Well, I don't, but we're supposed to. Okay, so I thought they're either going to do more train crashes, they're probably going to poison our water, and then this was really sneaky. Remember when we would get some states would get charged for collecting rainwater? That was the most frustrating thing because I know, especially in California, they're not allowed to fill out their reservoirs, and they get charged if they leave a garbage can outside to collect rainwater in for their gardens. They're not allowed to do that. So we're like, God, please help us. If you can't aim all the water at the garden, uh, and we're really kind of banking on you helping us fill a can, but then you get charged for that. These people just want to charge you for everything. So, anyhow, the news is not all dismal. I always want to end on a good note. And I wanted to say that because I'm from Michigan and we had terrible water, I guess this guy, I bless his heart, not. I don't remember his name, but they brought him in. They brought him in right after Jenny Granholm, who was the worst. She was terrible. And so, because she was the worst of the worst, the Biden administration grabbed her right away and said, "You are going to be the Secretary of Transportation." So, that's where Jenny Granholm is. And the person that came after her, we had such hopes in because it was a man and he was a businessman. And we're like, oh, this is going to put Michigan right on track. And he bought the cheapest of the cheapest pipes for Flint, and they were lead. So the people couldn't drink water at all. It was terrible. Even at the schools, the drinking fountains said water is unsafe. It was horrible. There were so many how did they say this? Oh, it was terrible. Infant and asthma mortality rates went off the charts. So sad. These people couldn't make formula. The kids at school can't drink water and they're bathing in this stuff too. So it's terrible. That is one another way that they can damage our water supply. So I don't know of any other ways, but on a good note, here's the good note. There is this hi Ichabod. Okay, so there is this woman who knows of this guy who she met in Puerto Rico. Well, anyways, now this I don't know if he's Puerto Rican or if they were on vacation, but this guy is in Texas and they got him. He goes by the name of, hold on, Moses West. Okay, so he's in Texas and he designed this 26,000 pound um atmospheric water generator. This huge beast of a machine, and it knows he's programmed it to pick up any what oxygen, H2O, hydrogen, oxygen, and he can pick these things up in the air with this machine, and he can make water. And so I thought, well, this is great. And they did get it, or they did get a little machine like that to Flint so that the people in Flint, Michigan could get clean drinking water. And the only weirdness I have about that, or the only question I have about that, is that there are so many factories in Flint, Michigan. It's like there's always black stuff being blown into the air. So if this machine can pull out hydrogen, and do you have a plant? Go ahead. There it is. Hi. Good to see
Hey,
you, Randy.
good to see you
So,
guys and gal.
hey, so we're talking about this water crisis, and
Yeah, I've been watching.
there's this guy from Puerto Rico, now he's in Texas, and I hope he's making smaller machines like this. But it is a 26,000 pound machine that is an atmospheric water maker. And it could just pull the H2O out of the air, even in Flint, Michigan, which half the time is covered in smog. And so there is hope. And then the last good story I heard about water production is this Indian woman. She's from India
Mm.
and she says she never worries about water. And she does. I would like to see her do it on a YouTube because she just talks about it, but she knows how to get the hydrogen. As long as you have air, you can get the H2O out of the air. So it's kind of a similar train of thought with this Moses guy, but, she's an Indian lady, and she puts up this cheesecloth. It's gotta be it can't be that porous. It has to be something, but it like that, but it looks kinda like a cheesecloth, and, she does her own distillery right there, just in the air. There's no water. She just knows how to trap the gases such as hydrogen and oxygen. So we do have hope. I didn't want to just end on this sad story that, hi, you have no hope or being taken over. But there is hope, and there are ways to distill the H2O out of the air.
But one question: they won't let you collect water, rainwater, in certain areas without taxing the bejeebus out of you
Right.
for doing so. So, what do these people think? They're going to make it rain. Where's the water going to go? Because
That
if you collect it, they're going to come and either shut you down by eminent domain, take your property away from you,
oh,
and
wow.
or do worse things to you, like the guy who created in California who created the water powered car, and who's, I think it was hydrogen, but it was based on water, that said that you could drive from California to New York, I think I think it was 28 gallons of water.
And he disappeared, right?
Well, he disappeared, and when they found him, he was not able to go into production with
Wow.
that plan. I mean, I don't know if that's what will happen. If that's what will happen here, my concern goes even beyond that. When you talk about the Chinese weather balloons that are making regular flights over the United States now, my
Even
concern
still?
is my concern is that the next one that comes, you don't know what is inside of it. And perhaps China is hoping our military shoots it down. And before you know it, if you live in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, you're going to be glowing in the dark.
Oh, wow.
Good evening, Randy. It's a pleasure to have you back. The No Budget Broadcasting Company had a meeting today, and they have decided that they would really like you to be involved in broadcast, and they're going to offer you 3 times what we paid you on your last contract.
Oh,
Oh,
Mike.
I got my pen. Where do I sign?
Okay.
Hey,
We have
you're talking about the hydrogen water, the car that, and I remember seeing that. I remember, I think I was in high school or something. Remember seeing something about, a guy developed a car that ran on hydrogen. Um, but here in Lancaster County, because of the number of Mennonite Amish um, who don't use English forms of energy, they'll go out to the fast food restaurants and they'll buy up the uh, grease, the oil from the fryers, and they'll take that back to their homes, and they somehow have a way of, filtering out all the gook from the food being fried, but they're able to use that oil to heat their homes, to create artificial light in their barns. Um, they've even taken a step further, and they made it so that people who convert their engines can use the oil from the fryers to drive their cars.
Wow. That's awesome. So it is a threat, though. It's terrifying. I can't stand that. How would the Amish function if the World Economic Forum is correct and we're going to have this water shortage? They seem to prepare so well for everything where we can actually learn from them. How would they just build some more water towers? How would you do that?
Well, so the Amish Mennonites, Dunkers, and Quakers who still live the old way, um, they have windmills, and they have they dig for water on their property. And then they have the windmill as the wind turns the fan blades, or we're going to call the turbine part of it. They're able to pump water out of their wells. Um, the biggest problem for them is that they use the water to obviously water their fields for their harvest. So the government's getting more involved with that to prevent them from wasting the water. Also, um, the farms that have streams that run on their property and they have cattle, like dairy cattle, they have to put safety in place because cows, they are attracted to water. They'll go down to the streams and they'll kind of stand in the water and they'll drink the water and they'll pee and they'll poo and that drops down into the water and then that water drains down to the water basin and gets into the water basin and then next thing you know you got cattle urine and feces floating around in the water.
Bacteria.
So they're forcing the farmers to fence off the streams and creeks that runs on their property to prevent the cattle from doing just that.
Do they collect rainwater, Randy? Because it's like I can't imagine the federal Department of Water thinking that they're going to be able to walk onto an Amish farm and say we're going to tax you on the amount of water that you collect. Because I can only imagine the Amish people going, you drove over the property line, you're now in the People's Republic of Omniscia, and you got like 5 seconds to leave.
Yeah, they do collect water because they have those 50-gallon, they're actually wooden barrels set along, their house line, their barn line where they have the water draining coming off, off the water spouts. So they do collect the water. And they use that to water their flower beds, because around the house itself, the Amish Mennonite ladies will plant flowers, certain plants, and certain veggies that they'll eat and consume for themselves. But they also do it for the plants because they have their little roadside markets where they'll stores, markets, so their carts, wagons, whatever they're going to do that for that day, and they'll sell the plants and stuff right off there. So they collect the water, then they use the water to water those flowers and those plants.
Okay.
Wow.
I think for the Amish Mennonites, there's certain rules don't apply to them, and that could very possibly be one of the rules that the government can't enforce them because they don't pay taxes,
True.
Hang on just a second.
And they dig those artesian wells. And you brought that up. Thank you. I forgot about that. We still can dig wells. They can't. Are they going to say that's fracking? Is it getting stupid? Hi, Robin. What do you do? It's crazy. If it's not raining, dig a well.
Exactly, but I was watching this one video, and the people that are in the video, they appear to be, I hate to sound racist, but Asian, Chinese, Mid Eastern, and then they had like the guy had what looked like be like a World War II rocket launcher. Okay. and the guy was loading it up with what looked like shells, like military style, shells.
Right.
And I thought that's pretty cool. The guy has his own World War II toy that he plays. He invite the family over. Hey, let's go. Who wants to see some more? But actually, what he was doing was he was seeding the clouds because the sky was
Oh.
overcast, and he was shooting these canisters where the chemical is into the sky to create to help it to rain.
Mm. Wow. You can shoot something in the sky to make it rain.
Yep. Yep.
Are we
They've been
allowed
doing
to
that for
say that
years.
on the show? Okay. Thank
I
Yeah.
you.
mean, it's no different from what they're doing now. The planes flying in the sky over Michael's house, and they're raining down all those chemicals into the air, to make it do certain things.
Right.
Yeah, it's amazing what science can do, and science
Okay.
is a good thing.
Okay, let me interrupt for just a second because that's what I do best here. But seeing as Randy Rhodes' new contract salary costs us a lot less than his last, we used what we saved by hiring Randy Rhodes back to hire back one other person. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to welcome to the table Ichabod
Stephen.
Palmer. Ichabod Palmer,
Awesome.
I'm going to make, whoops, yep, Ichabod Palmer is
Hi, Stephen.
now here with us.
Hi, Dave, Jen, Randy.
Hey, how you
Hello.
doing, dude?
Hey,
Um,
I'm
hey, what
doing.
happened
I'm good.
here?
Hey, well, we had a warm up and then it snowed. I'm like,
Yeah,
damn.
is that the
It
way it
warmed up.
works?
It got 70 degrees the other day. And I'm like, honey, it's time to shave my hair. She said, yeah, you need to get rid of that mop. So shaved my head. 2 days, it was 80 degrees 2 days ago, and then it snowed. Are you kidding me? But we're getting warm weather again. I'm getting ready
Awesome.
to getting ready. I
Awesome.
told the boss at the locker today. I said, hey, probably next week you won't have me. You won't see me again until next fall because I'm getting ready to go start doing cemeteries. So I've got 5 cemeteries contracted. The Mount Olivet Cemetery down in Kearney, Missouri, where Jesse James is buried. They've called me, and I'm coming back to do some more work for them again. So
Oh, wow.
yep.
Wow.
So we're in a battle here. Saturday we got our Missouri caucus, primary, presidential primary caucus here for the first one ever. So we're doing
Awesome.
that. Tomorrow is the big takeover. I call it the Taliban takeover at my wife's store. The towelheads have come in and bought her store, and they're getting ready to fire everybody.
Oh.
And so it's about to get interesting in our community a little more. And I'm getting ready. If I hope it don't go down how I think it's going to go down, but these guys have got a reputation because they bought like 20 stores in north central Missouri, and they're bringing in like there's a lot of things that they're bringing in their stores and they're selling out of their stores. It's not good for our community. It's not good for our kids to have access to. And they come in and they take over the store. They tell the employees, "Hey, train our new people, which are here illegally, and train our new people. We're going to send them to the other stores." And they end up firing the people that train them, train the old or fire the old people, and hire their new people, and they pay them for like $5-6 an hour. And
Oh, my.
so I've got a gut feeling that's what's going to happen here. Darlene run these people off the store property about 2 months ago, and she actually told them get the F off the property when the place wasn't for sale. And the owner's sons went ahead and sold it without anybody's knowledge. We didn't find out the place was even going to be for sale or was sold until the vendors called us that wanted to change out coffee machines. That's how they found out that there was a takeover.
Had to have been they offered them a ridiculous amount of money.
So I've already butted heads with them a couple of times. I helped the last store that this happened to. There were some friends of ours that worked down there in Trenton, about 30 miles away where my kids happen to live. And I went down and helped protest then with them. And actually, that video we put it out on Facebook. But one of the managers down there brandished a firearm at me when we was down there last year. So we're doing, if this happens again, we're doing protest again, but they ain't going to be the only ones there with firearms. I'll tell you that.
And they say,
how?
and,
Oh,
and
sorry. Go ahead.
they say they're such peaceful people that they're not going to ever show up with firearms. And I don't believe
Well,
that for a moment.
they
Well,
hire Pete. They hire. It wasn't directly them. It was a black and a black American that did it that works for him, and he's like one of their lead managers. But I think there's more to the story with these guys.
Yeah.
Their stores are a front for something else that's going on.
Yeah.
Like they're bringing illegal narcotics into our communities.
Yeah.
That's what's going on, and our damn law enforcement's allowing it to happen.
Randy, what do you think? We should do some broadcasts with Ichabod as he's
he's already contracted.
No, well, as he's laying the tombstones in the cemeteries of all these people that are going to end up being buried.
Oh well, I didn't go that much. No.
I'm just saying. Well, maybe if we hired Ichabod and we were broadcasting live, here's where this M is buried. Here's where this M is buried. Here's why this M is buried.
Well, if I come up to money,
maybe it'll be a warning to them, and maybe they'll leave.
Randy wants me to, and I thought about this. My son started doing it last year, but I need to get a GoPro or get another phone. If I can come up to money, buy me a GoPro or give me another phone, because my phone I have is like, I use it every day. I'm talking to you guys on it right now. I use it for my business purposes, and it's so full of data and storage that I can't video no more than 2 or 3 minutes, and I have to go in and start deleting shit, because I've got thousands and thousands of pictures of headstones and stuff on my phone, that I keep. That's where I keep.
Before you delete the tombstone pictures, send them to me.
Yeah.
So I don't even delete any of my tombstone pictures.
Oh,
I keep them all.
Right. What he's saying is take them and send them, because Randy is a master. I mean, it's pretty easy to import a picture into StreamYard. I can't do it, but it's really easy. And Randy will take pictures or take the pictures and import them into a broadcast. But if you're already under contract with Randy to do it, then good luck.
Well,
but Boogie
Dave.
with the Bull Distribution Services is always available to make sure that broadcast gets shown all over the internet.
Dave, let's make this quite clear that my contract specifies non-violent video only.
That's right. That's right.
Well, I'll do my best, Randy. I'll do my best.
and I already told him that my contract does not include bail money.
I wish my son was not in prison, because he bought this GoPro and he had planned on us making some videos for our company and helping our company expand, because I've been doing it for so many years, and I've tried to promote it. I've tried to get, advertisement out there, and I've been screwed over. I've paid for web pages 3 different times to be built and been screwed over all 3 times by the web builders.
Yeah.
And I just gave screw technology. My best advertisements, word of mouth, and they see what I do. And then my son comes in, he's like, Dad, we can do this. I'm gonna do this, but then he's in federal prison now, and I don't have I suppose if I got a GoPro, mess with it long enough, I could probably figure it out. But I don't know. I'm gonna have to look into one. Them things are expensive, though.
They are. Technology is expensive. But I'll tell you what, Randy, you guys finalize what you're going to do, and let me know the list of equipment that Steven needs, and maybe we'll go on and we'll do a Boogie with the Megathon and see what people might help.
Well, Randy gave me some ideas. I do a lot of it. It's spring's coming on.
Yep.
It's time for everybody to start preparing, start foraging, start going out and collecting things that you need. Like, hell, dandelions. Fried dandelions are some of the best eating out there,
But isn't the on the dandelions, isn't it the first season when they first come out?
Fried dandelions.
Fried dandelions. Oh yeah, they're excellent. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you just fry them up like you do morale mushroom. Use the same batter, like you use mixed milk, eggs, and and then you take your flour and your pepper over here, and you dip the mushrooms in there. Well, you take the you wash the dandelions the same way. You just take the heads of the dandelions and dip them in the eggs and the milk, and then you put them over in the flour, and then throw them in the hot skillet and fry them just like you would mushrooms until they get golden brown on each side.
Are
Oh,
fried
they're delicious.
dandelions are fried dandelions on the meat, choice of meal options at Wealth, Jen?
No, but I do know they do make a pretty good dandelion um wine wine
Make
with it.
dandelion wine, dandelion
Yeah.
jelly. You make dandelion moonshine. I mean, there's a lot
Right.
of things. There's a lot
Right.
of things. That's just like cattails that grow in a pond. I haven't tried them yet, but I've got 12 recipes for them. I'm gonna try them this year. I mean, hell, they grow. Why not try them? I've tried
Oh
every
my
damn thing
gosh.
else.
I
You
love
know,
that. That's so cool. Yeah, this and one more piece of bad news. Sorry guys. I try to end on a good note, but this is the latest thing that Biden's administration, I call it the regime wants to do, and that is to make everybody, because it's tax time, everybody should be an employee, not an independent contractor. So they're really struggling to get these DoorDash and Uber drivers to yeah, hold on. Cat,
They
stop.
they
Silly
they
cat.
they won't get the company. Well, the companies will want to do it. The problem is that in the case of Uber drivers, the amount that you make per hour almost makes it that it's not worth doing it because you're providing your car, your gas, your repairs, your this, your that, and if they change it to where you're driving an Uber car that Uber is paying everything on, you're going to make probably 50% of what you make now, just like a cab driver does, and it's going to be a loss. It's going to be a loss of pay.
My
It's going to be
kids
a loss
used
of
to
pay.
do that. My kids used to do that 2 years ago, and they still do. Like my son, he's moved out, him and his girlfriend. And if they can't make the rent, he calls the Uber people again and he's like, "Hey, I'm coming back." And they're like, "All right."
Oh yeah,
And I mean,
they'll take
he'll
you
get
back.
like $70 in one night, no matter,
Yeah,
it's awesome. But just the fact that the regime doesn't like it because it's not reported as properly as it could be
that's
is
not true.
insane.
That is actually not true.
I didn't lie. I'm telling
No,
you.
well, okay. You get a 1099 at the end of the year,
Right.
which is like a W-2, except it's
Right.
because you work for yourself. You get a 1099. A copy of your 1099 is supposed to go tax in your tax filing, whether it's electronic or
Yeah.
in person, and then when Uber files its taxes, they write off what they paid you on your 1099. The two have to match. That's how they caught me for my mistake not paying income taxes on Uber money that I made in 2014 because in 2017 they happened to do an audit of Uber going back in 2014. And I've said 100 times, even to people at Uber, or even to you know IRS people, we made a stupid mistake. We thought we had everything and we sent it in. And the guy who owned the Mercedes that I was leasing sent the W-2s out the last day of January. He was late sending them out that year.
Right. No, Dave, what I'm talking about is like when I was waitressing before we were married,
Yeah,
I would claim my tips and it was always the same. It was great. I'm not going to put anyone in jeopardy, but
right.
it was like it was the Friday night before Jesse and I flew away on a honeymoon, and I got a really good tip. And it was like secret. And they said, I put this 50 in your pocket. It's a wedding gift. It's not a tip. And it's stuff like that that the government's like, no, they
Yeah.
are not allowed to do that. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. I'm not talking
Pete,
about being dishonest. I am
right.
just saying
Pete,
they are
okay.
so grabby. It's insane.
Right.
It's
But
crazy.
people are also so stupid in regard to cash tips.
Mhm.
On your tax form, on your 1099 form, there's a line that miscellaneous income. If you put $1,000 and add that in and total it out and pay the taxes on the $1,000, they're going to leave you alone. They're not going to come after you for every nickel and dime penny of tips because you reported something. It's the cash tips that go in your wallet that you're not going to, that you're not going to report or you're not going to pay taxes on. The first guy whose company I managed, he said every time you do a cash job as general manager, you put the cash in your pocket. And you don't let my wife know that you got paid in cash. You
Right.
just well, that's what he did for the years that he owned the business before he hired me. He said, no. He said, if I did a cash job, it went in my pocket and she never heard about it. I'm a little more honest than that. So, taxes, miscellaneous income, $1,000 and pay the taxes on it.
Right.
It's not probably the $10,000 I made, but
I used to work for a hotel as a gourmet waiter back when I was in high school. And we make good money because, gourmet people, their bills are higher. So we make, 15, $20 off of a table of 2 or 3. And then the ownership of the hotel changed flavor, if you get my drift. And they decide, you know what? We're going to make you sign a document every week to get your paycheck. And we're going to tax you on an X dollar amount that we think you earned in tips that week. And of course, you always tax higher than what you actually made in tips. But you wouldn't know what the bottom line was because it's in a sealed envelope. And you won't get that envelope until you sign your name off and get the check to find out that they screwed you.
But the way around that is what I think more and more people who eat out a lot are doing is they're tipping the wait person in cash. And I just look at it this way. I don't have to worry about whether or not they report it or don't. It's not my problem. And I don't tell them what they should do, but when you remove the house out, if you put it on a credit card, the house has to report it as income. And then then of course they have to show that they paid it to you. And so if you remove that and you do it in cash, and some places are pretty sneaky, they'll watch you, and the wait person will get in trouble if you give them cash. My brother-in-law's places are not that he doesn't want people to get tips, but all the tips from the shift go into a bucket, and everybody who worked that night gets divided. Now, he doesn't have people who, if they say he's got 25 tables in a place, he doesn't have a person with 5 tables who's not good and pulling everybody down. Everybody's top notch, but some places do that. I just think you need to remove the house out of the discussion of tips. And if you're signing, I used to tell clients at the second place that I managed in Massachusetts that if you get a cash tip, it's yours. I don't want to hear about it. If you get it on a credit card, our accountant is going to know about it because we had to give it to you. And we used to tell our corporate clients, if you can, please tip the driver in cash. It's on, that's just how we would prefer you do it.
And the other thing too that was cool, and unfortunately I couldn't use the trick, is that women to get larger tips would do 2 things. They would take off their wedding band, okay, if they were married, and they would loosen their top a little bit. You know what I mean? and as they bent over the men in the table. Now for the men, they would put on a wedding band, even though if they weren't married, they put on a wedding band because the idea is, a man will always, a person will always tip more if they see that you're trying to support a family, or they'll tip more because they think they have a chance at you because you're single. If you get my drift.
Nice. Yeah.
You just have to be sure on how you play that situation, later.
My 1099s are filed 13, just like my W4s. I don't even pay attention to them. They go right to the trash.
No.
I don't even care anymore.
My 1099.
I haven't for 5 years. When I seen our government kept doing what they were doing, it's bad. In the last 20 years, we've had to pay into the system, and there's a lot of people that start, and I hate to say this, but a lot of people in the black community, more and more kids, and some people in the white community, like the trailer crash. I ain't trying to be biased or judgmental, but we end up paying for their welfare. And then when I seen the illegals coming in our community here, and here on a work visa, but they show me a $13,000 tax return check that they don't even have a Social Security card to claim on.
Right.
And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. How did you get that? Well, I claimed on my 10 nieces and nephews down in Venezuela.
Of course they did.
Well,
of course they did.
I'm done. I'm done filing taxes. I'm done supporting other people. I'm supporting mine.
There's that meme going around right now that has it's a picture of a tax form, and on it says where the hell is the line for me to claim my my 2 million immigrants.
Dependents.
Taxes, you know what?
Yeah.
Tax IRS and tax IRS should never existed. That's the reason.
Right. And it should be shut down.
A lot of people, if they really knew the history, this shit's been going on in the swamp, and the deep state's been going on way back then when the IRS was first established. That's part of the reason the Titanic was the accident of the Titanic happened. It wasn't due to an iceberg.
Well, wasn't the
truth needs to really come out. Our government blowed that son of a bitch up because there was people on there that was fighting against the IRS coming in.
But wasn't the IRS created by the Fed and the elites that made up the Fed to collect money from us to pay them back for all the war loans they gave the federal government?
Well, that they're still paying to England because, the King of England at the time was funding both sides. He was funding his side and our side.
Right.
Wow.
We never won the Revolutionary War. It just stopped. It just ceased.
We won it only because he didn't want to play anymore. But we're probably still, centuries later, hundreds of centuries later, we're still paying the interest on the original debt.
Well, I'm not paying shit. They can kiss my ass or come and get me. They come and get me. They're going to have.
Go ahead.
They'll have a battle. That's all I got to say. I ain't playing their game no more.
And lately, Joe Biden's lapel pin is a United States flag with a Ukrainian flag. He should not be allowed. He should not be allowed to wear that on his suit.
No.
Period.
He should not.
He should not be. He should not be. The funniest thing, and I don't know if it was AI or not, is him standing in front of a podium and he's giving a speech and he says, "I'm wearing my Ukraine lapel pin. I'm wearing something else. I'm wearing Ukraine socks. I'm wearing Ukraine underwear. My diaper came from Ukraine." And then he corrected himself and said, my diaper is covered by my Ukrainian underwear. I'm sure he didn't actually do it, but it cracked me up. And somebody posted today, "What is the future of Build Back Better?" And I said, well, in January of 2025, Trump is going to say, I built back America better than Biden ever could have.
Right.
But
I made a mistake. I was going through Twitter, just seeing, catching up on some news. Primarily, I would look at Twitter to look at the video from the combat fields from Ukraine and Russia, and someone had the audacity to repost a video of Zelensky back in his gay days when he was a dancer, and I want to tell you what, that's an image I'll never get out of my mind.
Someone else said that he was a comedian.
Yeah,
he was a gay comedian dancer.
And they didn't say whether or not he was any good at it, but he must be pretty good at comedy because he's gotten trillions of dollars out of the United States now for his song and dance. So he couldn't have been that bad a dancer.
No, I still think there's something in Ukraine that will destroy the Democrat Party, including Biden, and that's why I think Putin knows where it's at, or he has control of it, because let's face it, he's still making money off of us because we're buying his damn fuel still, his oil.
Didn't Putin admit that he bombed the 2 biolabs in Ukraine, that he bombed because those 2 were owned by the Biden criminal enterprise?
Yep.
Wow.
So I mean, that's that. We're not telling you. Anybody who's watching, we're not telling you anything that Putin didn't already say.
I want to be honest with you. I admire Putin. And that sounds terrible, but in some stupid way, I like the guy. I know he does. I know there's some things he does and is doing that's wrong. But you know what? When you put him beside our leader, I would choose him.
Oh, I always say around here, I'm rooting for Putin.
Yep.
I say that all the time. I'm rooting for Putin because I think there's something. I think Putin and Trump and some other people, I think he's part of the White Hat clan. I really do.
The only thing I can figure is that, like, Biden is said to get like $30 million every time we send a huge chunk of pilots of cash to Ukraine. Putin has to be getting something, because if Putin really wanted Ukraine, he could just blow it out of the sky, blow it up from the sky. He could march his armies into it, and this would have been done as fast as it began.
He could already took it.
I think it was a joke when all their military equipment was parked blocking the road, and Putin was going, well, we can't go any further because we're out of gas. BS. I think it was just a blockade to make sure that nothing got into Ukraine on those roads.
Right. If he wanted to take it, he could have took it already.
Yeah. And I hate to say too, I mean, he's losing a shitload of soldiers, not to mention armor and air power. Putin is. It's almost like he's getting rid of his, the soldiers and air people who are, not the elite of his military strength. I agree with you guys. I mean, if Putin really wanted Ukraine, he could have wiped them out a long time ago. But he also might be trying to drag us into a war because France is talking about putting soldiers in Ukraine, housing them and basing them in Ukraine. And Putin said that if that happens, that's it. It's over.
Well, they've been at war for thousands of years over there, and part of Ukrainian land was taken from Russia years ago. And he has the right to try to take that land back. But
it was Alaska.
It wasn't taken away. It was Mikhail Gorbachev who decided that he was going to break up the USSR and make it, somewhat more independent states.
Yeah, I know there's a kid that moved here from Ukraine. He lives about 30 miles from me. I've met him. His name's Vladimir. I can't think of his last name. It's hard to pronounce. But he's 27
They're all
now.
named Vladimir.
Yeah, it's funny. But he was in the military over there when he was 16. And I asked him straight up, I said, I want to ask you, is majority of your military over there neo-Nazis? And he acknowledged that that's a fact. That's true.
Yeah.
And he's grateful to be here. I was actually shocked that he's from Ukraine because he speaks, he's got a little bit of an accent, but he speaks pretty good English. He really does.
I don't know. Anyway, it's Boogie with the Bull Thursday Night Live. We're on the Dave Goldman profile on Facebook. We're on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. Both have live chats. You're welcome to watch us. Jen, the homeschooling mom, Woodruff, is with us. Randy Rhodes and I have signed a peace accord with a 300% salary increase.
Yep.
And
Bitcoin.
And Stephen Palmer is here, so we're having a good time.
Today was Thursday therapy for us, Dave. Thursday therapy is kill day for us, and I ended up getting sent home earlier because I didn't realize the guy could get hurt at work, but I did. I had a half a bee, 470 pounds, come off the rail and land on me.
Ouch.
And then I was out at the kill chute, opening the kill gate, which it's a rope, and it's paracord, heavy duty stuff. But when you get it to a certain point, somebody has to help you pull on it. Well, I was at the end, and when that kid come on and pulled on it, that rope decided it was going to snap at the hinge, and it sent me to the ground on my tailbone, and
scary.
That was at noon. I went and took lunch, and I said, boy, I'm hurting. And the boss come in, and he found out what had happened to me. And when I come back in lunch, he said, did you get hurt earlier? And I'm like, yeah, a couple things happened today. He says, you can just go home for today. He says, I'm the old man there, so they kind of baby me around there. So I took advantage of it, and I came home. But I am hurting.
Awesome.
I ain't going to lie. I'm tough, but I'm hurting it. I'm feeling it.
Actually, Ryan, we're actually not live every morning at 6 a.m. Who's ever going to be on the broadcast sends a voice sample, and Jen Woodruff produces the whole show on AI.
I don't know about that, Dave. I don't know. I won't hold my breath on that, but yeah.
We're live Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7 p.m. Eastern, and Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we are live 10 a.m. Oh, Randy Rhodes, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, you, me, and Bill Muckler for Red Friday and other assorted Bill Muckler things that we only do when Bill Muckler is on, which is usually on Friday.
I see.
Hey, Jen.
You're welcome. You're welcome too, Jen, but it's 8 o'clock in the morning for you.
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. I'm busy.
Jen,
Okay.
Yes.
I got to try a new piece of meat, new part of cow the other day that I've never tried.
Help us, God. What?
I got to eat cow tail.
Oh my gosh. Was it good?
I thought you were going to say something else.
Was it tough?
It was good. It was good. I'll give it. It was good. It really was.
Awesome.
We made they made taco meat, cow tail tacos.
That's awesome. Yeah, you can't go wrong with taco meat. It's
Randy, don't knock it till you try it, buddy.
My dad, God bless him, when he was alive, he would eat pig tongue, pig nose, his snout, something else from pig ears. He'd go into the refrigerator, get out the butter, the container of butter, right? Butter, not this artificial shit. Container of butter, get out a tablespoon, scoop in the butter, and just go to town like it was pudding. And I'll tell you what, that was sick.
Did he have a heart attack? Just wondering.
He had 4 heart attacks before he finally died. Yeah.
I just wondering.
My grandfather used to eat tongue, all the tongues, cow tongue, pig tongue, bull tongue.
Yeah.
And it's
I
not
haven't had
tough?
pig, but I've had
I
I
don't
haven't had pig.
I don't know. All I know is I said to him that I would never eat anything that could lick me as it was going down my throat. I'm sorry, I just
Oh, that's funny.
could
Oh,
not
I love.
imagine. Could
You
not
guys tried
imagine
mountain oysters?
eating tongue.
No, no,
Wait a
no.
minute. Well, that's the part of the cow I thought you were going to say you just had for the first
Oh,
time.
Oh no, I've been eating mountain oysters for years. Hell, I'm
Because
hooked on them.
if you watch like the shows on the cooking channel, the
oh yeah.
Food Network, and they have to cook with Rocky Mountain oysters, it's like these chefs that have no idea what they're talking about or I'll try to guess what it is until a chef that knows, comes up to them on the camera and goes, it's, and it's like, oh, gross.
I know.
I'll tell you what, I had turkey fries for the first time, and turkey, they call them turkey fries, what they are. But they're turkey nuts, and that's the best I've ever had in my life. They was good, like really good.
Oh my
So, so,
gosh.
so Dave, since you and I have a working truce here, I'm not sure if you were following my posts the past couple of days, but you're aware that the American Rebellion has come to an end, sadly.
I
Um,
don't I am and I don't want to discuss it.
oh no! I'm not going down that way.
Okay.
Nick has offered me the ability to do a broadcast in that time slot: Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, possibly Saturdays at 7 o'clock.
Okay.
So he and I had a conversation. He indicated that he was okay with me taking over the time frame because he did not see any way back.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
and he
Re,
said
re,
that he would be
worded very carefully, but move forward.
no, yeah. So
Okay.
so essentially, he's going to be on the show with me.
Okay.
Daryl is going to be on the show, and Bill Buckler said he'll be on the show, and
Wait a minute.
Jen and Ichabod.
I'm trying to get
So
it
I'm
so that I can
offering them.
point at Jen. Okay.
Hi.
But
So
yeah, if you're asking
want to
me,
come on? Yeah.
I can do some. Yeah, for me, I can't commit to 4 nights a week. But yeah, I'm sure if you beg me hard enough, I'm sure Jen Woodruff, my manager, will get me. Will get me.
I'll talk to your manager and work something out for you.
Here, we'll
I'll come.
offer you coffee.
I'll come on. I'll come on. But because Michael Anthony used to call it Hollywood Squares, I want Paul Lynn's Center Square. Okay.
Okay.
That
All
is
right.
the worst one. It's like the
No,
Brady Bunch.
it's actually the
No, you're Alice. You have to cook
well
and
that's
clean.
on the Brady Bunch. But if you look at the original Hollywood
Hollywood Squares.
Squares,
I know.
Paul Lynn had the Center Square, and the reason that he had it is because when a contestant is looking at who they're gonna ask, they all
Yeah.
want the center square, because if you get the center square, it's easy to get 2 or 3. It's easy to get
Tic-tac-toe. Right,
yeah,
right.
it's easy to get tic-tac-toe if you control the center square.
I see.
I'm gonna come on as much as I can, guys. We're getting ready to
Yeah.
hit my busy season, so when my busy season
Good.
hits, I'll be. Things are going to get crazy once it starts warming up.
Well, maybe
I'm
we'll have a
so Dave,
professional relationship with them, and we can bounce everybody back and
Yeah, thanks
forth.
for I wanted to
Bounce
ask him a
everybody back and
question
forth.
before he goes.
Go ahead, Jen. Go ahead.
Ichabod, how
Yes,
do
ma'am.
you store water? Do you store water? I mean, in this crisis that the World
We
Economic
do.
Forum wants to stage, what are your plans? Do you
I've
have to
got.
pay?
I don't have a lot of water stored. I do have about 100 gallons stored up, and then I
Oh,
have like purifying tablets. I have like
oh,
200 purifying tablets. I have, and then I carry like each one of my bug out bags, my survival bags has a gallon of water in each in it that's already
okay.
prepackaged in plastic, like vacuum sealed packages. Like
Right,
in Tropicana packages, but it's water.
right,
But
right.
we've
Let,
got
let me
plastic can containers. I got 20 of them out there. They're 5 gallon apiece. We have water stored up in that.
Right. And
Let me
do you
jump
have-
in for just a second. Let me interrupt because that's what I do. William Grant, who I said has watched almost as many Boogie with the Bulls as Danny Campbell, wants to know if the new show, Randy, will be on Rumble.
I was planning on Facebook. I know there's some folks. I mean, if there's a reason why he wants it on Rumble, obviously I could. But I was looking to do a Facebook broadcast. It will be political. Okay, we will talk about local, state, federal news that's happening in the world. We will be talking about the Hollywood elite because they're so fun to talk about. It will be non-genealogical, so none of my other business, and nothing about nothing really concerned about the South as far as primary about the South because that's my Sunday show.
Well, to answer William's question, let me throw this at you. What if all roads lead to whatever we're going to talk about broadcasting, and the No Budget Broadcasting Company have a conference at some time tomorrow and talk about splitting Rumble?
Oh,
because that way both of us have access to it on our prospective nights. So all 7 nights, well, all 6 because we don't do Sunday.
Is there a reason why Rumble?
It's you get away with more than you get away with on Facebook because they're not slapping you as much.
Well, I wasn't planning on,
and it's a more conservative audience than Facebook is.
I mean, it's something to look at. Right now, expense-wise, I am tapped out. I don't know if you saw my one broadcast a couple of days ago, but I have like 10 different magazine subscriptions that I pay for for my genealogy thing. Now, on March 3rd, Comcast has convinced me to improve my streaming experience by going to 1.2 gig on my speed.
It's ultra broadcast quality.
Yes, so they'll give me 30 days of free time. If I don't see any huge difference, I can cancel the contract. Otherwise, it costs me an extra $35 a month.
Well, it's the difference between night and day because most people that say their service says you're getting 1 gig, 1.2 gig are lucky if they're getting 800 megabit because on a street you're battling everybody else who has it. But like I said, 1.2 gig, true 1.2 gig is true broadcast quality. You won't have the little little white circle. You won't have the buffering circle.
Modem.
Right. It doesn't. Yeah.
Because right now I have 250 speed is what I'm using right now.
Okay. Well,
so tell you what, guys. So Dave, I'll give you an option here too. I'm trying to finalize the name for the broadcast. So I came down to the short list. So I'm going to give you the short list, and you tell me which one of those you think might be a good name. Okay?
It can't have any name of the previous one as far as I'm concerned.
No.
It's not.
Okay.
No, I'm not doing anything to copy the previous show for this time slot. Okay.
Right.
So I have Stepping Stones Through History, Freedom Rings, Patriotic Voices, Knowledge Through History, Protect Our Heritage, Regaining Your Roots with Randy Rhodes, or Restoring Roots with Randy Rhodes.
The freedom one, Freedom Ring, I'd add let Freedom Ring maybe. The other one, the Patriot one, I would use something like that. We only use Boogie with the Bull because it was a song that was written that has nothing to do with politics. I just promised Tom Williong, the guy who wrote it, that if I ever got that big break in radio while I was in college and grew up to be Rush Limbaugh's number 2, I would call my show Boogie with the Bull. So,
Mm.
but if you look at it, also that's what we do. We dance around the bull. But yeah, I would think anything with the word patriot in it, anything with the word freedom in it. Avoid anything that, don't get too wordy, and try to, try to, yeah. I just say, yeah, let freedom ring. I didn't hear the patriot one. They went in one ear and out the other too fast. But what
Patriotic
the heck?
voices.
Yeah, patriotic voices is good. Or patriot voices is good. Or the patriot voice,
like that one, right?
or the patriot voice.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But,
so I'll have that finalized tomorrow.
Yeah.
But so 7 p.m. Eastern, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, possibly Saturday.
Okay.
It's going to be political, current news events, bash, fight it all you want. Obviously, MAGA, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Conservative conversation.
Conservative conversation's a good one.
Yep.
Conservative conversation. And I know William wants to see it on Rumble. A lot of people on Facebook don't want to see the broadcast that we're doing on Facebook. Facebook, they would rather go. They would rather go over to Rumble and watch it. And if it's a situation where you've got Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and possibly Saturday, and we're still doing our Tuesday, Thursday, and we're all working together as one big happy family. I have to fudge some numbers around and see. Rumble is not expensive. It's $10 a month. I just had never decided that I wanted to spend the money. But it's not a lot of money to spend, and we already have a Boogie with the Bull Rumble channel. We just can't use it because we're not paying them for it.
Right. Dave, out of curiosity, do any of you three have to pay on collecting rainwater? And if you did, or have you ever heard of how much the tax is? If you put if you put a clean garbage can outside in a rainstorm to collect water for, of course, your garden, I don't know, for whatever you would save rainwater for, how much are they going to tax you? How much do they charge you?
I don't know if where my sister is, way up in Northern California, Humboldt County, I don't know if they get charged for collecting it. But what I do know is that my sister, her 40 acres is on top of the mountain. And the spring that feeds just about everybody else off of that mountain is on her land. So I'm sure, and everybody gets water. And there was one time where I guess they needed more than was available. Everybody came up and they all dug a new thing into dug a new well or whatever. They all dug down into a different spring located on her land. So I doubt very seriously where they are in California, they're getting taxed. And my sister, from what I understand, has 4 or 5 50-gallon things collecting at different spots on the 40 acres.
Okay.
And they will take a tractor down with a smaller tank and drain that tank into the smaller tank and bring that up to the main house or different parts of the land where they need it. They're not paying taxes. I don't believe that you should pay taxes. It goes back to the conversations that we had with Stephen Tolliver when he was on, that if it falls out of the sky and it lands on your property, it should be yours. But then the argument that the people on the side that say we should be taxed is that you don't own the mineral rights on your piece of property. I don't know if that's true everywhere, because I'm sure my sister probably owns the mineral rights on the 40 acres of her land.
I see. Okay.
So
wondered.
But yeah, but if anybody watching, if you are getting taxed on your collection, message me or just put it in the comments the next time, and we'll let everybody know. Go into the groups and post it in one of the groups, and we'll make sure it gets.
They didn't
put
say
around.
not to yet, but I was just wondering how much it
Well,
was going to cost to be disobedient. That's all.
I just think
there's
it's
other words other than disobedient that can be used here.
I just think it's funny that Biden thinks that he's going to lay all of these new plans into effect as his term is coming to an end, and not understanding that most of these things aren't laws passed by Congress, it's by executive order. And the first
Nobody
thing,
likes
and
him
the first
anyway.
thing, right, and the first thing Donald Trump is going to do is take all of the Biden executive orders and tear them up.
What a dictator!
Because
right.
that's
No,
what Biden. Well, that's what Biden did to Trump. There are a few.
Yeah.
There are a few that always make it from one president into the next president. They're
Well, guys, I hate to cut this short, but I've got to go. I've got to go pick up my wife and take care of some business. So
it was good to see you.
Nice to see you. We will catch you on the next Ichabod Palmer Crane show. I mean, the next Stephen Ichabod Palmer show.
Yeah, well, I think Randy was asking a little bit ago about the name or whatever. I think the Patriotic Voices is good.
Yeah.
I like to protect our heritage, but I think to protect our heritage would probably be good if I use that, or we could use that for doing the cemetery videos.
Yeah, I will talk to a few people I know that might think about contributing toward the cost of the GoPros. The GoPro 8, someone posted earlier in the comments, is running about $200.
Well, I'm going to try to do a couple different videos this summer. I want to try to do like the foraging and the gardening and have a GoPro on for that, like when I go out mushroom hunting.
Yep.
And foraging for stuff, and then also for the gardening, and then I want to have one and do another video or another one for podcast for like cemetery stuff.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, so I think that would be cool.
That's great.
Yep.
So anyhow, guys, take care. Be vigilant.
All right, Stephen.
Bye. Thanks for coming.
You guys.
Always a pleasure.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Always a pleasure, Stephen.
All right, we'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye. All right, so let me do that. I got to kick his parachute. That's my favorite part of the show sometimes, is kicking people's parachutes. But anyway, sounds like we're all, see, I like this. I like when we are all talking and we all come to the table with the different things that we do, and we try to figure ways for all of us to work together and get things done. And if somebody's on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, and we're still doing Tuesday, Thursday, there's 6 nights of the week that
go ahead.
That we got it covered, and we will hopefully take control of the 7 p.m. Eastern slot on the FB as I call it. Tonight on the FB, it's
the Facebook. That's fun. Well, thank you. Well, I should go too. I think the pizza.
I have different words in mind, but I can't say them because we're not allowed to use the F word when you're on a broadcast.
Facebook. You're right. Okay. Thanks, Dave. This was awesome.
Okay, Jed. Always a pleasure.
Bye, Randy.
Yep. See ya. I got to jump off here as well.
All right, hold on. I'm going to bounce Jen, and then I'm going to ask you a question. Tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, if you want to join Bill Buckler and I, please be awake. Make sure you're awake.
Yeah. All I can say is, I'll have to see where I'm at when I wake up in the morning.
All right.
If I wake up in the morning. You never know. Okay. You never know. Tomorrow might be my day.
Do I get voting shares at All Roads Lead to Randy Broadcasting?
Voting share? No. So we'll let it go.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. It'll be fun.
Take care.
All right, Randy. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Jen Woodruff, the homeschooling mom. We had Randy Rhodes, and we'll be playing around in in that realm again. Hopefully they will get Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday nailed down, and we'll keep doing Tuesday, Thursday, and get more people into it. Sounds like there'd be more room to bring more people to the table, and we'll just make everybody happy. So we'll look over here and say, good night, Nick Gurr. Thank you for watching. Dr. Craig, always a pleasure when you watch, and you still got to find 20 minutes so you can come on and talk with us. And Karen Hackley down in Texas, you stay very safe with what's going on down there and keep us posted on all of that. We'll roll up. I know William Grant was watching, and like I said, he's almost going to pass Danny Campbell as the person who has watched more Boogie with the Bull broadcasts in the history of Boogie with the Bull than me, the Bull, myself. And let's see, Robin Brunson was watching, and Ryan McCarthy, who is in our groups, was watching. And I think that just about covers everybody who was watching. And as we said several times in the broadcast, we're here Tuesday and Thursday evenings at 7 p.m., usually till about 8:30. And Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we're at 10 a.m. We aim for an hour, but if we go an hour and a half, that's okay. It just depends on what we have going. Tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, Bill Muckler, the host of the Bill Muckler Show, weekdays at 11 a.m., and a retired Marine captain, an entrepreneur, a well-known, respected author who wrote the two 2020 books, 2020, A Clear Vision for America, 2020, A Clear Vision for Our Future. You should buy those books and read them. They are $25 for the set. You can go to 2020americabook.com. That's 2020americabook.com. And you can order the books from there. You can go to the Bill Muckler Facebook profile and order them there. And you can probably go into the Bill Muckler Show group and find ads and order them from there. Very easy reading and just knowledge that you should read. And like I said, tomorrow morning, if you're around at 10 o'clock, bring your favorite cup of coffee and sit down and talk with us. Bill's going to be on for about a half an hour, I believe, 10 o'clock to 10:30. Then he'll scoot out so he can get ready for his 11 o'clock broadcast. This is the part of the broadcast where I tell you, you have been watching Boogie with the Bull Thursday Night Live, a copyrighted presentation of the No Budget Broadcasting Company. And if you have questions about that, let me know. I want to thank Facebook for letting 13 shares go out, which means that we at least got it shared into our groups. 13 seems to be the magic number on a share. If we go over 13, we get banged with a 41-hour can't share or do a lot of things on Facebook that seems to go away after about 41 minutes. But if we're not on in a group that you want us to be in, share it to that group. I tell all the groups, the only chat that we monitor on Facebook is on my profile when we are live. Or if you're on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel watching, we monitor that one too. If we do something with Rumble through StreamYard now, you will be able to see the live chat from anybody watching on Rumble because that was fixed when Rumble and StreamYard finished their deal, and now they're over there. So we'll talk amongst ourselves in the background and see what we can come up with on adding Rumble. Anyway, I'm going to say goodnight. It's 8:26, means we're actually done before 8:30. Again, Friday morning, 10 a.m. with Bill Muckler. Hopefully Randy Rhodes will be there. And if you want to be on a broadcast, up to 30 minutes before, you got to let me know. So the 7 p.m.s, we want to know by 6:30. The 10 a.m.s, we want to know by 9:30. And don't ask tomorrow if you can come on, because Bill's going to get as much time as he wants. And then if you're watching and you want to come on once Bill departs, then you're welcome to come on. But during the time that Bill is on, it's going to be Bill, me, and Randy, or just Bill and I. Hopefully Randy will be with us. Anyway, live well and prosper. Double V's for victory. This Boogie with the Bull broadcast is going to come to an end. We'll come down. We'll hit it one more time. Double V's for victory. This Boogie with the Bull broadcast.